Good evening. This week, everyone else joins the revolution being out of Davis Arena, as the heat has its way with OVW stars, personalities, and fans alike. How long can this go, and where can you still see the stars of the OVW? We'll let you know, but we want to hear from you, OVW Nation. Welcome to OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. My name is Tiny Bryan, your producer, announcer, and voice of the chat room. And now, please welcome the OVW Podcast broadcast team.
Malachi, where's the camera?
Give him a second.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 10 of the OVW Fan Zone Live. I'm Jack Minogues.
And I'm Brian Hines.
Tonight, we will get into all the heated consequences after last week's OVW Rise, and we will look into some independence rage.
And Davis Arena is shut down for repairs and renovations. We will get into OVW's plan to keep getting us the action that we need.
Where's my camera? I want it so bad. Malachi.
There.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Jump into the OVW YouTube chat room. Tiny Bryan is the voice of the chat at OVW Podcast. Be sure you tag him at OVW Podcast so that we can see your responses quicker. And of course, Brian Hines, as always, in the chat room.
Super chats go to the head of the line.
And we will be addressing at the end of the show, throughout the show, all of your guys' questions, comments, concerns, complaints, requests, anything else OVW or wrestling related.
Well, since tomorrow is Independence Day.
It is.
We could expand that into Independence Day things. Like,
Yeah.
What are you doing for Independence Day?
You're right. We're celebrating. Chat. Hit in the chat room with what your plans are for tomorrow, your favorite July 4th rituals, what you're going to be cooking, what's going to be on the grill, who you're going to be hanging out with, etc., etc.
Who went to Tennessee and got the good fireworks?
Yeah, well...
Might be a burning question.
I mean, it'll burn for a moment.
It will until...
But then it'll mostly explode. Oh, we have already got our first super chat of the evening, gentlemen.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that. This is our old friend. It's Coco?
I think it's Itsuakeko is because it's like every syllable is its own, or every I don't know how to explain it, but I've looked at this person's name. I think I know how to say it, but it's escaping me.
I don't have my notebook with me, but I've got my eye on you.
Itsu Kazuoko.
Yeah.
What do they have to say?
Yes, that's the most important part.
That's it. It's so this night I think we actually succeeded in having me on camera for the cold open.
Oh,
really?
And Itsu Coco sends $5 and says, "Tiny Bryan Cam, dreams do come true." Now, where's Malachi's?
Malachi, I will speak for him. It'll be the last episode. There's the Malachi Cam.
There we go.
It'll be the last episode of this thing before you see his face, which might be next week. We'll see.
Do you know?
I mean, it could come at any time.
Could come
like
in the
the
middle
rapture,
of
really.
this. Could come in the middle. We could get a phone call right now.
Tomorrow never knows.
All right.
And if it does, it's not saying.
Yeah.
So I hate to put it this way. So this is such a. This is a comparison that's been beat down into the ground. But should we get to the proverbial elephant in the room?
I think we got to start with the headlines.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think,
that
Ryan?
is the headline.
You
That
mean
is the headline?
Are you referring to the hot topics?
Yes.
The biggest topic right now is also the hottest topic. It's hot. It's really hot.
It's hot. But what does that mean?
That means that OVW is not going to be working out of Davis Arena, as far as we know, until the air conditioning gets fixed or the renovations are complete.
It's kind of definitely from what. I mean, gosh, we were there on Saturday. We've been there the past few weeks.
Yes.
So,
hot.
yeah, we
It's
should
hot.
definitely, honestly, I'd like to talk about just how hot it was there on Saturday. If you were there, and I know a lot of you here in the chat room were, those of you who are listening.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
It reminded me, and I don't know, this is probably not in anybody else's in this room's experience. I know it's not in Malachi's, probably not in Brian's, maybe in yours, Jackman. Have you been to a tent revival?
Yes, I have.
Like a middle of the summer
Yes, I
tent
have.
revival where we've packed 400, 500 people into a 100-person tent, and it's standing room only, and
And
looks
the tongues are going around.
and it looks like an
Not
actual,
that way, gross guys.
Yeah, no, Jesus tongues. Easy, Hans.
And not that way either.
Not that way either. But all the fans moving makes it look like just one, almost like a sea creature that's just kind of moving its gills.
Or perhaps a mosh pit.
I mean, a little less. That was
Definitely-
too hot to get that mean.
I haven't
Definitely
been to a
some
tent
Woodstock
revival, but I've been
99.
to plenty of mosh pits. So there we are. That's my frame of reference. as
You
far
are
as
the
that
guy
goes.
who broke stuff at Woodstock 99.
No.
Up on command.
I was there, and I can prove I was there, but no, I did not break stuff.
You did not break. It was not one of those
Allegedly.
days.
That
it
was
not one
allegedly.
of those days that day. for
No,
you.
it was not one of those days at all. That was
Everybody was nice. that
also
day.
a major event that was affected by the heat.
Yes,
It,
yeah.
it
no
definitely
joke.
was.
No joke.
That for me personally, my story was it was a weekend of just survival and trying to stay hydrated and having $60 to eat for a whole entire weekend when everything was ridiculously
$6 for a bottle of
expensive.
water or whatever.
Yes, yeah. That's a whole other story altogether. We can talk about that some other time.
And, unlike the organizers, the petty organizers who do not care about their fans or their workers,
You
of
mean the
Woodstock
Lollapalooza?
99.
The
Woodstock
Woodstock
99.
people,
Yes.
yes.
OVW has, I'm sure, not like they're excited about having to make this decision, but they've made the right decision very clearly.
This
for-
was 1,000% the right call.
for the health and safety of not only
It
the
was.
consumers but of the performers, to knock off dates over the next few weeks at Davis Arena. And I guess we know a little bit about that. Like, that wasn't the easiest decision to make, but we know that it's the right decision to make. And this era of OVW, over the past couple of months especially, has shown their consumers, shown their fans that they will always make the right decision by their fans.
Yes, and it takes a lot of courage to make the right decision.
Yes.
To take some time off. I like to say that it takes resticles.
Yes, I don't know exactly what that means, but I think I
taking-
know what it means.
It's having the balls to say we can't do this right now because it's too taxing physically.
Right. No, I love that, actually.
Yeah,
I don't
that-
know if I'll
that-
ever use it.
That's
but
a
I agree
Behind's
with-
original.
I agree with the sentiment wholeheartedly. But
So we're seeing in the chat room, just to kind of give you a flavor of what's going on in here.
please.
Everybody's kind of telling their stories. Mostly it looks like stories of survival. It's like, I was just lucky to get out. And frankly, I was
Well, you weren't
too.
at Woodstock 99.
No.
I
It was a
was.
much
That's
better
not the point.
experience in Woodstock 99. Let's stop comparing it to that.
Yes. There is no comparison. I was at
no
both.
comparison.
There is no comparison.
What else is the chat saying?
So let's see. Yeah, they're talking about how, people stuck it out, but it was tough. I'm so glad we had to, that had the chance to go to the car and get in the AC, and we went ahead and, bought the pay-per-view right then,
Yeah,
just so that we could
sure did.
watch it while we sat in the AC.
Wait, what?
You
We
didn't-
thought you knew
So
that.
You
Brian,
didn't tell me shit.
No, whoa,
Or,
whoa.
PG-13.
Whoa,
You didn't tell me
whoa.
Shinola. I don't know the difference.
We,
Oh,
Seriously, you guys were gone for like 45 minutes, and I'm up there hanging out
Yeah,
in the top row
Honestly,
with
we
Jimmy and Darla.
we thought that you were kind of just having a good time.
I was having a good time.
yeah, you
I was
left us
having I was having a great time, but I knew it was going to be hot. So, me having been in a situation before where I had to think ahead, especially
I don't do that.
years
I don't
ago
do that.
when Trey and I would go out and have our adventures when
or
we
at
were
Woodstock
little.
99.
Or at Woodstock 99. I packed 3 shirts.
All right, chat room.
And-
if you're drinking this evening, every time they mention
Yeah,
Woodstock,
Woodstock
99,
99's the special guest
apparently
tonight.
that's the phrase that pays tonight. There's nothing I can do to stop it, so let's just embrace it, shall we, chat rooms? And
It's
I do see you
organically
guys
created
on
itself.
Twitter as well. Twitter, If you're watching us on there, sound off in the chat room.
Oh, are we on? We're on Twitter.
We are on Twitter for the very first time.
And
we're also on Twitch
tonight.
Greetings, X.
OVW, while shutting down their Davis Arena, has been expanding their. Yeah, we are on more of OVW's video.
Where
That's great.
One door opens, other doors, or one door closes, other doors open.
That is the normal order of that.
And I hope you dance.
So yeah, you were kind of off on your own. You had that camera rig. You were kind of invested in that.
Well,
so yeah, we went and cooled off. You brought 3 shirts so that you could.
I knew what I was getting into. So the shirt that I wore there, I wore until it was like, ugh. So I went to the car and changed into the veteran Jack Vaughn shirt. That was my second one. And somebody said, "Did you change shirts?" And I was like, "Yeah, I knew what I was up against." And then I wore that one until it was just I needed a wardrobe change. And then I wore that one until it was time to go home because I didn't want to ride home and be all like, bleh. Because it was just, people were wearing next to nothing because it's hot as an oven.
And the whole shack did shimmy a few times.
It did. Yeah, when everybody's moving around.
And around.
Tin roof rusted on that joke.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going.
Why don't we move on to where you can stop talking about all the places that we can't see OVW and talk about the places where you still can.
That's right. I think the most important part, Tiny Brian, as you brought up, is to remember that OVW is still traveling. They will still be in your town. There's still a ton of great OVW action for you to get your fix at. And let's tell them a little bit about where we can find them.
Okay, so as far as we know right now, on Thursdays they are going to be doing best of shows.
Right.
So you will still have OVW to tune into every Thursday at 7.
And we'll still talk about it.
And we will still talk about it.
We will probably, I was thinking, do watch-alongs on some of the bigger segments those best of shows.
I thought we're gonna play around with our content now that we are in this situation for the next few weeks. We're gonna try to get creative. We really want your ideas.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
And necessity.
I don't like Frank Zappa like that, though.
Oh, I do. Well, that makes one of us.
That's the difference in our personalities very much.
And that's cool. We don't have to agree on everything, and I'm glad that we don't.
We don't. But, the fact that I can say I don't like Zappa, but I know why you do is very telling of why we like the things that we like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, we are going to be doing a rewatch of the Netflix series Wrestlers.
Right.
And
where we found all of our nickels and dimes to begin with over here on this adventure.
And that is on the OVW Podcast's unofficial Wrestlers rewatch.
Right.
So look forward to that coming up soon.
I think we figured out how we can actually do that. We're probably going to do a fair bit of. It's going to be, you used to seeing us talk like we're doing right now. We just kind of turn on the recorder and go, and there's not much editing. Probably will be a little more editing there because we'll have probably one conversation with each superstar who's involved, and we'll talk about their involvement, what we see in each episode.
I think this is something you and I have always kind of talked about on the back burner, is doing kind of more long-form, focused audio format stuff. I think this will kind of be our first
foray.
Yes.
Other than, of course, Bluegrass Homefront, which you have some experience with, Bluegrass Homefront, wherever you find your podcasts. But this will be the first foray for us as a group into that kind of format of audio storytelling.
Yes, we're almost a year into this, and we're looking to branch out into different creative avenues.
Baby Bird got to spread those wings.
That's right.
Baby Bird got to spread those wings. So do I have this correctly? Are they still planning? Is the plan for OVW to still do the 1300 show
on July 11th?
That will probably be a best of, as near as I can tell.
Okay.
So 1300 will end up.
That might be the quote-unquote 1300th episode numerically, but that won't be episode 1300 in terms of the storytelling on a weekly basis.
Well, we know a couple of things. They're going to be blowing it out of the water whenever they are able to get back.
Damn right they are.
And they're going to be blowing it out of the water at all of these Dano's National Tour shows as well.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Lexington, Kentucky, July 19th, Cheswick, Pennsylvania, August 10th. The rescheduled date for Cincinnati, Ohio is August 16th. Weston Robinette, if you're able to, I highly recommend you get there. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, August 18th. OVW pay-per-view, OVW Fight Night at Appalachian Wireless Arena in August 31st in Pikeville, Kentucky. And Plain, Illinois, September 7th, 2024 is rescheduled for that night. All tickets for those shows and any shows are available at OVWTix.com.
And they actually just announced a really big name for that Manchester music show here in Lexington.
Do you mean, I thought you were going to say the one for Pikeville.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Super huge,
is there something?
Kevin Nash is coming to Pikeville.
Yes.
Well, my
my
mother is coming to the one on July 19th.
I cannot wait.
She's not on the poster. But
much like Jason Hendricks.
But it'll be her first OVW show. If I'm not mistaken, probably her first wrestling show in over 40 years. So
I'm looking forward to meeting Mama Oaks. Maybe that'll explain some things for me.
I'm gonna be honest. She's everything you could ever expect her to be,
and more.
But
more.
Let's get into the real celebrity of this kind of summer half or summer part of the Danos National Tour, Kevin Nash in Pikeville.
Right.
I mean, the guy.
Oh, okay. So hang on. The September 7th show is Logansport, not Des Plaines.
Okay.
Wendy caught that for me, and I want to put that
Wendy.
out right now.
Thank you, Wendy.
I have a
Nice
lot
to
of
see you
versions
over the
of
weekend.
this. Yeah, a lot of versions of these calendars, so things get messed up, and she did point that out. So Des Plaines, not Longport.
Thanks for keeping us straight on that one.
Oh, no. They made Des Plaines. It is for Longport, not Des Plaines.
Wait.
Not Des Plaines, Longport. Illinois or
Well,
Indiana.
then I
One
will
of those
update
islands.
my notes right now.
Yes.
I forgot my notebook at home, so I am using an album.
Kevin Nash, though, to get back to the steak that's sitting right in front of us on the table.
Part of the angle that is reasonably why I have this while we're here.
The angle that a lot of people could say is the biggest angle in the history of North American wrestling, the biggest angle in the history of wrestling, the angle that saved North American wrestling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All around cool, seemingly really smart, great guy, Kevin Nash, will be in person in Pikeville on August 31st.
Big Daddy Cool.
Big Daddy Cool.
Big Sexy.
Big Kev.
The fact that there's like an outside chance that we might get to meet Kevin Nash.
Is that an outsider's chance?
It's the fact that we have an outsider's chance of meeting Kevin Nash is like absolutely, it's intimidating, man. Like,
Well, I certainly hope they wolfpack the stands.
that I think, well, I'll tell you afterwards that we're going to go too deep into the weeds on what I want to say. I do hope they wolfpack the stands.
I do.
But what a huge announcement. Seriously, I can think of one other time where Kevin Nash was at an OVW event, September 11th, a few years ago. I've talked about it on this show a lot. One of my favorite wrestling shows I've ever seen, and he put the butts in seats there. I think it'll probably be exactly the same at the Appalachian Wireless Arena on August 31st for OVW Fight Night in Pikeville. And, I mean, it's Kevin effing Nash, bro. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to, no matter what, it's so cool to see a legend like that in or around a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
so.
I mean, he literally picked up Rey Mysterio, threw Rey Mysterio into a garage door, and I came invested.
That is your favorite.
That is the inception point.
I know, but that is your favorite thing to say about it. I love hearing you tell it again and again. He just picked him up and threw him like a dart into the side of that production truck.
I mean,
and he most certainly did. You are not wrong about that. But just not to put too fine a point on it, that is, what we're bringing to the table, what OVW is bringing to the table when they come to Appalachian Wireless Arena.
A person who was involved in a singular point in wrestling history that literally turned the zeitgeist into wrestling fans. That is what Kevin Nash did. We were off today. I was listening to all my smart stuff. As on the way out here, as we move toward the next segment, we'll be back with predictions and a lot of other BS on this Wednesday night on OVW Fan Zone Live. All of your tickets, as we mentioned, for the Danos National Tour can be found at OVW Tix. That's TIX.com. And my name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm Brian Hines.
This is the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back.
Facts after having seen it firsthand.
So you two want to explain what's happening here?
So I brought this piece of level 10 hot chicken back from Nashville from a food truck that I really enjoy called Brave Idiots.
Hey, they gave everybody the craps. Whatever it was. Yeah.
I probably would have liked it. We were going to do this, seriously, like the best hot chicken I've had in Nashville in a long time.
Should get a niche to try it. Yeah.
I am about to tear up a little bit. We were going to do this last night on our Wednesday night show, but Luke and Layla were such great guests that we kind of ran out of time before we could do our dumb stuff that we had planned. So we're going to do it here for you today.
Bonus dumb content.
Yeah. This is the level 10 hot chicken from Brave Idiots.
You didn't tell me it was level 10.
Oh my God, my ears are ringing.
Nobody's saying you have to eat all of that.
It's good.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, I might be done.
I know I'm done.
Good luck.
I'm going to get into this very...
Notice they're being careful not to touch.
Look at that. Delicious.
Yeah, let me get in on that a little bit. Oh,
Look at that.
it's gonna hurt you.
I've gotten this far. There's a literal pepper flake sitting right on top of the... You know, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Oh?
Would be. Yeah.
You look somewhat uncomfortable.
It's a grower. Are you still Philby? Mm-hmm. I said it was the hottest one. Ooh, baby.
Little classic.
Oh, is that where we're at? Oh, yeah, I love it. I love my camera. My name is Jack Minogues. This is the OVW Fan Zone Live where fans talk back. I should have. Let's do that again. Am I still here?
We are live, so.
This is the OVW Fan Zone Live where fans talk back. My name is Jack Minogues. This is Brian Hines.
Yep.
So, it occurred to me watching you eat that chicken again. Like, there's a moment where you...
Oh, is that what we played?
Yes, we played the chicken. And there's a moment where you're like... where you just don't... Where you eat it, but you can clearly tell on your face you didn't want to eat it. And
that's why I didn't.
You know why I did that? For all of the great fans that we have here in the OVW Fan Zone Live where fans talk back.
But that reminded me of being at Davis Arena on Saturday. And I remember when I was coming back from being in the car in the air conditioning, it was hot outside, and then I got close, and it was like, is someone operating a blowtorch in there?
I mean, we're not trying to harp too poorly on them.
No, absolutely not.
They ran into a bad situation.
No, it was Mother Nature. Nothing against OVW. They did absolutely everything they could.
It was Mother Nature and copper thieves.
So I don't know if we know this. I don't know if this has ever been said before, but I have a friend that works in that same industrial park that Davis Arena is at. And I texted him. He was going to go with us last night. They canceled it, obviously. I texted him. I said, bro, I'm so sorry. They canceled this kind of last minute. And he said, why? I said, well, because someone stole the air conditioning unit. And he said, LOL, we just got ours replaced. So it was not just Davis Arena.
It was that whole complex.
So
it was that whole complex.
This is a public service announcement to the citizens of Louisville, Kentucky, to be on the lookout for copper thieves because it's hot, and those people are just...
and if they take the copper, it will then also be hot.
Yeah, screw you people.
And with
would like
copper thieves, if you offer them a hot and ready, they'll probably stop doing what they're doing. So just
okay. Let's take a moment and step away from the air conditioning and let's welcome an OVW icon, Mr. Joe Coolie.
Into the
is
chat?
in the chat room right
Joe,
now.
Mr. Joe. Mr.
Good
Joe.
evening, Mr. Joe. Thank you for coming and spending time with us tonight.
Seriously.
And,
Really. That means the world to us.
Saturday night, I told Joe that I thought his old nemesis, the volcano, was here at Davis Arena.
Boo.
Boo.
Click,
Most of y'all
click,
probably don't
boo.
even get that reference.
I
but
get that reference.
I know. You're as old as I am.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm just old.
You are not just old.
Shut up.
You
You are not.
It's
Oh, apparently the chat room doesn't like my joke either.
yeah, good.
Give him hell, kids.
Give him the
I
business.
got booed by Mel.
Give him Mel. I'm starting to like Mel.
Mel, it was nice to meet you on Saturday. I'm glad that you stopped me and introduced yourself because I would have, probably gotten around to finding you at some point, but I'm glad you stopped and said hello and introduced yourself because it was a pleasure to meet you. We only got a chance to talk briefly because you had Mel things to do and I had Brian things to do, but it was great to see you and I hope to see you again soon.
And Mel, if we met on Saturday, I'm sorry. It was a long, hot day. I don't really remember. That Country Boy booth is very tempting on a hot night.
And not only that, I'm surprised that you were still standing because you ate three plates of shellfish at the Chinese buffet before we even got there. And I'm thinking,
yeah, this is worthy of talking.
Yes.
About. Oh
Okay,
my God.
let me start the conversation by saying if you find yourself in the area of Davis Arena and you have a propensity for seafood as I do, there's a great place called King Buffet. I understand that the name sounds generic enough to be awful, but it was actually some of the best buffet style Chinese and seafood I've ever had in my life.
it was of the highest magnitude as far as a
Amazing.
Chinese
Great
buffet
stuff.
experience
Great stuff.
in my 48 years. And I am not a fan of the shellfish or the seafood or anything. As a matter of fact, I had to get up and leave the table while you were eating that because
I was eating squid.
and
You really? I don't think I realized you left the table so you wouldn't look at him.
I think
Yeah.
everyone at the
Wow.
table left as I was Googling which parts of the squid can you eat.
yes.
I just was keep,
I mean,
I was just
in
keeping my
terms
eyes on-
of presentation, it was a fine-looking dish. However,
Yes.
it is not my cup of tea.
I'm gonna be honest though. Seriously, everything there. This is a free plug, I'm
Yes.
kind of weird about monetary things, but this is a free plug.
This
Really
is,
wonderfully prepared seafood, wonderfully prepared buffet, super duper clean. If you find yourself in the area of Davis Arena and you're looking to treat yourself, that's our travel tip, our food travel tip for the week.
Yes.
We've been talking about doing that. Maybe this is the unofficial first one.
this is the unofficial first one over there
Oh.
in that camera right there.
King Buffet.
King Buffet, up the street.
Thank you,
from
Malachi. You
Davis
read my
Arena.
mind.
It really was something. I stuck to all the chickens, the bourbon chicken, the General Tso's, the other various chickens, and the ice creams.
Yeah,
We're
you guys
good?
were very, very high on the ice cream.
Yes.
I had an egg drop soup for dessert. It was amazing.
Yes.
I had egg drop soup at the beginning of the meal where you're supposed to have it. It was very good.
I had 2 bowls of wonton soup in addition to the various chickens and the rices and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I still have my fortune from there, and I don't have it with me, but I remember reading it at the time and thinking that it was very timely advice.
Yeah, I
Apparently-
remember what it said. It said, try the squid.
So, so Joe Cooley tells us that King Buffet is in the old Buckhead's location.
Yeah.
Buckhead's Mountain Grill.
That's
There's one of those
apparently I
in
know
northern
these-
Kentucky when I used to live
I
up
knew-
in the Newport area.
I knew that building because I ate there once when I was 11 for my birthday. I got a Ricky Martin CD.
It was in
I remember it very well.
the Gardner Road Plaza, which was oddly specific for me because Gardner Road is a road that I know very well in the LBC back in Ohio.
The Lower Brown County.
That's right.
Let's get this show on the road, Tiny Brian.
All right.
This has been. We're gonna do this in a more official capacity. I think that went really well. We eat all the time.
Yes.
They-
As a matter of fact, we're going to eat here in a little bit.
I
we
tend
are-
to eat 2 or 3
We're
times
gonna
a day.
we're gonna eat it. I eat a solid once a day.
So I got breakfast.
and guess what?
Second breakfast.
I didn't eat for 2 days really after.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I've known you for a year, and You ate more on Saturday than I've seen you eat working side by side with you for a week.
Peckish is putting it politely.
Yes.
Is to how my relationship with food. Maybe when you meet my mom, that'll make sense. Anyway, let's get into the action. And if you guys want to meet my mom, she will be at the Manchester Music Show in Lexington, Kentucky on July 19th. OVWTix.com.
All
That's
right. So let's hang on a moment. So
What's the chat looking like?
yeah, what is the chat looking like? They're all talking about Krispy Kreme donuts and
Oh, that is a Krispy Kreme right down the way from there. That's a good choice, guys.
So
Yeah.
have we started a food conversation in the chat room about good
bit.
places to go to on your way to Davis Arena? I mean, obviously we have to consider Wix,
over the next,
Gorilla Bob's.
over the right, 4 Peg Smokehouse.
Yes,
Country Boy Brewing. I think that there's
Obviously.
a Louisville location now.
we missed you, Kyle. We missed you.
I think that's something we should start interacting with the fan zone with. Maybe get people's video testimonials or something. We could play them during the show, just like because there's a lot of people that travel from through this exact same places.
Yes, and I'm glad that you bring that up because it's
everybody say goodbye to Joe Coolie. He's got to go have dinner with the wife.
Mr.
Oh.
Cooley, sorry, you've gotten on me for calling you that before. Mr. Joe, have fun at dinner with your wife.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Tell Mrs. Joe that we said hello and we appreciate you both and we hope to see you again very soon.
I've never met her, but something tells me she's a heck of a cook.
I would imagine. So, you guys want to get into some prediction results for last week's ride?
Not really, but let's go.
Before we get to that, let me finish my thought. So
Sorry.
We were talking about the chat room gravitating towards food since we talked about that, and you mentioned traveling and helping each other out in terms of finding good places to eat. When I was on vacation, my son and I had this thought, and we hadn't gotten to it yet, but maybe we could manifest this into the universe where we collectively come out with a playlist, a road trip playlist, a summer road trip playlist.
You've both mentioned this to me, that we need to do a...
I'll start it off.
I said I would work on one, but he really is the
I'm serious about this because I love music. I always have. I've played music. I still kind of some here and there. As a matter of fact, I've got a record right now. That's what I'm writing on. Old school back in the 70s because that's how they did it back then. But
when you were 5.
yeah.
Today Taylor Swift basically she owns all the vinyl on the face of the planet for the next 15 years to press multiple pressings of all of her albums. But
well, she doesn't own this one.
But
right
she don't
here.
earn Dirty Honey.
But my she does not own a Dirty Honey album to my knowledge. I'll start it off.
We want to do collaborative things with our fans.
If I was going to start a summer road trip playlist, I would start with Highway Star by Deep Purple. What's yours?
I Gotta Try by Michael McDonald from 1982's Michael McDonald. The last Kenny Loggins collaboration.
Have you heard that Thundercat?
Yes, I guess that's technically the last Kenny Loggins collaboration he did, but this is the last song they wrote together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were aware of that, but I really dug the vibe between those two when Thundercat worked with them.
Oh, Thundercat really made those guys look absolutely tremendous. This is and our Yacht Rock web or podcast will be later down the road. But what is yours, Tiny Brian? And the chat. What is your guys'?
Yes.
Yeah, we're still got some things on restaurants downtown. They're saying Nick and Norman's is a really good place downtown.
Nick and Norman's
we
is really good.
We need to take note of all these things.
Nick and Norman's is a good place. Yes, we have one here in Lexington.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It's a burger place.
Let's see, we've got
good turkey burger. Good turkey burger.
Pulse of the Maggots by Slipknot is being suggested by Mel in this case.
All right,
All right.
Mel. I don't know
Go
if I saw that
Metalheads.
one coming, but I can't hate on it.
Do you know
Born to Run by Springsteen, Radio McRadio Face says.
Good choice.
That one will make me cry. And I'm not even a Springsteen guy, but I've got a lot of memories tied up with that song.
Yeah.
I would probably, I've got several that I might pick. I might think of Life is a Highway It's
Okay.
like the ultimate rolled chip song. It's a little too cliche.
Which version?
Rascal
Tom
Flatts.
Cotton. No, Tom, the original Tom.
Tom who?
Tom. I thought it was Tom Cotton. I could be wrong.
Didn't he play for the Cowboys?
I don't know.
No. He was Hank Hill's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. And Ken Terminated, DQ says his is Can't Drive 55.
Oh, that's by
Very solid choice. Yes.
Donna
Montrose, right?
Huh?
Montrose, the first Sammy Hagar band. That's who sings Can't Drive
Montrose.
Montrose, yeah.
Donna Cecil is leaving the chat, so we want to tell her good night.
It was great to see you the other night.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we got a chance to speak
I'm
and
sorry if
finally meet
she's-
with Mama Mammoth.
I'm sorry if she's on her way out, because we couldn't, obviously we couldn't entertain her enough. No, I'm kidding. She's such a wonderful woman.
Yes.
She's such a wonderful woman.
You guys did get to spend some time with her after the show on
I was
Saturday.
very thankful for that.
And like, you won't run into this whenever you meet my mom at the Manchester Music Show, OVWTXTIX.com. You won't run into a mom who's so obviously very proud of their kid,
As
and
she
so
should
obviously
be.
proud of the man that he's become. I mean, when you meet my mom, she's just gonna make fun of me and give me noogies the whole time. But
That'll be fun too.
But like sitting down with Donna, or standing up more so, she was just so proud of her son.
Yes.
And it was, if you're proud of Donovan, and you should be as a fan,
Rightly so.
I
am.
You can't put into words whatever amount of pride you feel. Miss Cecil was feeling it 200,000 times more.
I completely get it. I
It's the year
completely
of the
get it.
mammoth and his mama.
Heck of a woman. Loved meeting her.
But yeah, I think my first selection for the road trip playlist would have to be Tom Petty's "Running Down a Dream."
I am not
Uh,
surprised.
I was like, I was over-undering Tom Petty mention over here.
It's with me. It's either Tom. With Victor, it would definitely be Tom Petty. I'm in there with him, but I also kind of like some Counting Crows stuff. So, "American Girls" by Counting Crows would also get an honorable mention for me.
I would rather have American Girl by Tom Petty.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tom Petty has American Girl, and the Counting Crows have American Girls.
Very different songs.
Goyles.
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 American Girl is like the Petty song. Like it is the Petty song.
Do you know that was recorded on July 4th?
I did not, but
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
You do now.
Oh yeah, all right, I knew that.
Take it easy, baby. Make it
Last all night.
That has my
That's
favorite.
never been my forte.
No. Oh. I'm going to point at the sign.
That was so PG-13. You could get away with that on an episode of Bluey. You could have gotten away with that on an episode
Sir,
of Bluey.
If
There-
I were
there's a
David Letterman, I would have flipped my pencil like that, and
So
I would have
we-
thrown a card at the camera.
and it
went,
would have made a breaking sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are running toward our inevitable end here. Let's do some actual wrestling content on this wrestling channel that we work for.
Okay, so let's get into the results from. So we're going to hold the Independence Rage results
Good,
for
yes.
next week.
yes,
after
we will still.
Yes,
We will still talk about that, but we are going to save it.
and
We
are
found
gonna
ourselves
do
with an excess of time now, so we are
Yes.
going to save it.
Yes.
And we're going to do the. You can expect to hear on Monday morning our coverage of Independence Rage here in the podcast feed, as well as whatever they do on Thursday night.
That will be the unofficial in an unofficial capacity.
Yes, we are always unofficial on Mondays.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Joe
In,
Coolie
in other
sugge-
words, it's gonna sound a lot more like this than our
This has
usual
been a
shows
little.
do.
This has been a little less than. Yeah, we kind of got. It's been a busy week. It's a holiday week. We got blindsided by some news that we kind of needed to talk about.
Blinded like it.
Episode-
Blinded by the light.
Episode 10. The gang gets comfortable. The one where they get comfortable.
Mel G is now saying Indian Kenny G. Joe Cooley says the Beach Boys' greatest hits.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles they wear. And the Southern girls
East
with the
Coast
way they
girls
talk.
are hip, I really, and Southern girls with
The way they kiss, or is it talk?
With the way they talk, they really knock me out when I'm down there. And East Coast girls are hip.
I really dig the styles they wear.
Yeah.
So there is in the chat room currently there is a Reverend Cosmic Joe Chronicles. So I do feel a little uncomfortable mentioning Mel G is now mentioned the Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang. which is another really
Shout
great
out to Mel G.
Okay,
She is
yeah.
the DJ in the thing
If
tonight.
it's going to be that kind of party, all right, I guess. I just didn't have that on my dance card.
All right, so let's get into. You guys predicted the main event of last week's Rise, which was Cal Hero, Luke Curtis, Jack Vaughn versus Tony Gunn, EC3, and Crixus.
Why start at the top?
Because that's the order that I put the things in.
Oh,
I wrote
okay.
them
Well, that
down.
wasn't the order that they showed him. It's
Hey,
like,
all the
why
other
would-
rules are off the table tonight.
I'm-
Let's do
look,
whatever.
man, look, I'd have done this even with the rules intact. This is the one I started with. This is the one we start with. So you guys both predicted the Revolution basically would win this one. And
But
Mhm.
that was because we thought there were things that were going to happen during the match, which clearly did not.
yes,
No.
I think
We sure got a lot of gruff about that Band-Aid,
We sure did.
but that's a different story for a different day.
And we will address that later, won't we?
We will definitely address that later.
Yes. It
So-
needs to be.
well, yeah,
addressed.
and we did ask you to predict whether or not special guest referee Doug Basham would turn on the OVW locker room at this moment, and of course he did not.
Nope. Not last week.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think either one of you were really quite ready to say that he would.
I'm gonna honestly disagree. I think my colleague was
Yeah.
very,
I
Oh
very.
no, you were you.
I
were
will
right.
100% own this. It felt like that was going to happen for me. I was predicting from my heart and not my head. So
Well, and I do have a question.
I was mistaken.
I
We love
notice.
questions.
I notice whenever Brian Hines over here gets a prediction wrong, everyone's like, "Oh, it's okay, Brian Hines." Whenever Jackman gets a prediction wrong, they say, "Oh, how are we going to punish Jackman?"
Wait,
I'm not wanting to punish either of
no.
you. That is-
You were the one who said, "Well, I'm willing to take the punishment. No dirt, no lube." Ha 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 ha.
No. Somebody brought it up first.
It wasn't
Somebody
me.
Brought it up first. It was someone in the chat. I think it was Ken Terminated DQ. I'm keeping my eye on him.
Anyway,
Please don't point at our chat room.
but I digress.
Where's Malachi? Where's my camera? Malachi, where's my camera? I'm keeping an eye on you, chat room. No dirt, no lube.
Easy. I remind you that the Reverend is in-
That is PG-13.
Okay. So, yes. So, Brian, you predicted that he would turn, and he did not, right?
Yes, and thank you for mentioning that a second time. Appreciate you.
I'm just here for clarity's sake.
Is that what you call it? All right. But I digress.
He's calling it a lot more fair down the middle than that. Never mind.
Ken Jackman is just Jackman. He's just heard Ken's asking what you said, and he's just blowing smoke. Don't you worry.
I'm
Overlooking.
messing. I'm
Then we
joking
come
around,
down
bro. I'm joking
to
around.
Super Z versus Omar Amir, and both of you put your money on Omar Amir. And I think Super Z got the win in that, didn't he?
You're the one who's got the notes
Yeah.
and stuff.
Today was look. I had a lot.
This
going
was
on
a
today.
paternity test, and that turned out to be a lie. How about that? This is Maury, and we have the results. And nope.
Does that mean I get to walk out and jump around right now?
Yeah, you get to stand up and act a fool because that baby ain't your baby, and then I don't know, somebody's going to throw a chair and hit somebody in the nose.
You know what the worst part is?
What?
I wish it was my baby.
Yeah, Super Z actually got the win on that one. So you are both taking the L on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have known, honestly. Omar is so good at losing. Like, and that sounds. I know that sounds disrespectful, but we have since the very beginning of this thing talked about how important it is to have somebody that can lose well. So
And he can. Then we
Definitely
get
can.
Jamin Olivencia versus the Star Rider.
I know we got that
Stop-
one right.
yeah.
Both of you can take the dub on that because you both predicted. Both of you predicted that Jamin would win, and he won impressively. I would
Listen,
say.
I have never, and this is me admitting my fault. I've never seen Jamin Olivencia wrestle. Have you seen Jamin Olivencia wrestle?
Live up to that point,
Mhm.
I had not. No.
Was he? He was incredible.
Absolutely. Yes.
It was like from the moment the bell rang, I was like, this guy's a different cut of
Yeah.
some of these other, and it's
Well, I mean, the stats do kind of speak for themselves.
yeah. I mean, but like, I guess you're used to in OVW when new people get brought in, new people with Jamin. You know, they're working their way up through being highly skilled, right?
Yes.
Jamin is just skilled, and he's had a ton of experience. He's been all over the place. He's wrestled JJ Styles.
They said he was in the Philippines when they contacted him.
Yeah,
So.
but it's man, on skill set alone, on just like ring awareness, match awareness alone,
Jamin ability to wear a coat.
Jamin Olivencia is
No joke.
no joke. Yeah, I can't even finish the sentence because I can't decide on the right verbiage.
That's all right. I finished it for you.
Like loved Jamin here, and
Yeah.
loved Star Rider here. Star Rider is
He looked great.
He's in that spot to make a guy like Jamin Olivencia. Like, because Star is such a sentimental favorite. If a new kind of up-and-comer guy, not up-and-comer, but a new guy on the spot, new guy in the ring, new guy to some of the audience members like Jamin
Somebody
Olivencia
who moved
comes
back
through.
home to OVW,
Yeah.
who'd been away for a while doing
Star's
other things.
in a great place to make him look great.
Yes,
And did.
And
did.
That was a lovely match. Then we get into the women's mystery partner match, which
That's kind of a scrub.
it is. Yeah, we're that you guys just kind of get that one off.
didn't see what
Yeah,
happened.
we both kind of said what we thought was going to happen, but the match itself didn't happen.
Tiffany ended up brutalizing Layla, Sophia.
And you did both have Tiffany as the winner there, so you know she was the one who was on top at the end.
She was standing at the end.
She was, and even after like pulling a Mr. Fuji move from back in the day and hitting Sophia Rose in the eye with salt.
The most comically large bag of salt I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then let's look at your partner choices here. Both of you said your first choices were that Layla would be with Freya the Slayer.
That was mine.
Oh, that was. Oh, was that? Yeah,
That was mine
his.
only.
That was his.
We both figured that Sophia Rose was Layla's partner.
Made a lot of sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Sophia Rose here in the continued absence of
And
Lady
rightly
Bird.
so. Good for her, by the way.
Yeah, and putting on
Despite
that
the
fiery
salt.
babyface performance after Layla had gotten beaten down, running to the rescue of someone that she knows in ring from the opposite side very well. Just a great fiery babyface performance from Sophia there too. Tiffany put her in a great spot to get a lot of shine. So
Yes.
Carson Drake versus Coda Jacobs.
That was a scrub.
Well, yeah, you both picked correctly that Carson Drake would win that match.
But only because of the outside interference from Superior Tony Evans and the silent one, the right hand of doom, Jay De Niro.
The right hand of tubers.
And shout out to Carson Drake here for signing an exclusive contract with the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, we did need to bring that up. We certainly did.
We will work toward, by the next time you hear from us, whether it be on the Fan Zone Live where Fans Talk Back or on the OVW Podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling, wherever you find your podcasts, we will have a little bit more detail on what exactly an exclusivity contract in the NWA looks like, because we know that OVW and the NWA have a strong alliance. The NWA has a strong alliance with a lot of, or a growing number, I guess I should say, of independent organizations. So we will find out what exactly that exclusivity contract to the National Wrestling Alliance means for OVW and talent signed to those type of contracts.
Yeah, I have asked. I have not yet got any information on that.
Something we're working on.
Right.
Indeed.
You guys both also rightly predicted Will Austin and Justice Davis, or Will Austin over Justice.
Justice looked great, though.
He really did.
He really did.
Justice is a few. I remember getting to see so many of these people that are stars in OVW, top tier stars in OVW right now, when they were just starting with the promotion a handful of years ago. Justice Davis is earmarked for that exact same success.
I
in my
couldn't agree
mind.
more. Yeah.
Not everybody gets to be Buzz Backlund, unfortunately. Like, guess what? There's no shame in not being a Buzz Backlund. Like, there's no shame in not instantly like taking to this thing in a way that is truly phenomenal. Is truly a phenomenal event. But Justice Davis is working his way up. He's doing the right thing. He looks better every time we see him.
Yeah.
We've been seeing a different side of him.
We need to see more of him.
Unfortunately, though, Figure 4 In the middle.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot of wrestling experience. I don't have a wrestling license in Kentucky, as far as you know. But when I was growing up, the figure 4 leg lock was the deadliest hold known to man. And so
I think in so many ways that it's one of the only moves from like the 80s, like 70s and 80s, like because people don't do atomic drops anymore. I mean, they do,
not
but
as much.
They
it
do,
was,
but they're silly, right?
If
Back-
they're
yeah.
referencing Hulk Hogan, you're wearing all yellow.
Yeah, like it's people. There's so many of those moves from that era of wrestling that found their fame during that era of wrestling, television, whatever, that have kind of gotten phased out as television wrestling has gotten more and more aggressive. For some reason, the figure 4 is impenetrable. It's not going
It's
anywhere.
timeless. And now it's even more extreme because if you can bridge it and you arch your back and you kind of like rest your like head and like pull everything up. I mean, the 1980s me knows that the figure 4 leg lock is something not to mess around with. But now that you've got the bridge with somebody like Will Austin who will lock it in and hold it, I mean, a guy like Justice Davis, as hard as he fought, was just, there's no out for that other than being able to get to the ropes or being able to reverse it by rolling over. And he just wasn't able to do that, unfortunately. But a valiant effort on your part, good sir.
Beef and Dalton McKenzie versus Boy Toy Troy and Prime Jackson. I know that we went
Yeah.
with the Revolution on that one.
We did,
Sure did,
but
of course. But Boy Troy and Prime are starting to grow on me.
they are. And so I mentioned my my cousin's son Weston last week, and I once I talked to him because my mom on the way to China Buffett on the way to Davis Arena said that
King
Weston,
Buffet, shout out.
Yes, Weston watches all the time. He watches OVW, and I think he listens to you guys. So I talked to him, and I've talked to him quite a bit this week. And one of the things I asked him was, who is your favorite wrestler? Who is your favorite wrestler in OVW? And without batting an eye, he got back to me within seconds. You guys know what he said? You guys want to take guesses?
Layla Gray. I don't know.
Cash flow.
Malachi?
He doesn't even have a mic.
He doesn't have an opinion on this one. His answer, Boy Toy Troy.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I was like, wow, what a solid choice. Where did that come from? That was kind of unexpected because I figured it would have been Layla Gray because he's 19 years older.
Yeah.
I figured it would have been Cash because he's Cash
That's
for crying
kinda
out
why
loud.
I thought it
he
was
was
Layla
like,
Gray, since he's
I think he's a
19.
great wrestler and he reminds me a lot of the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, and he was my favorite when I was big in WWE. And I just wanted to put that out there because I think that's awesome. I really think that's
from the
awesome.
mouths of babes.
From the mouths of
Speaking
19
of from the
babes.
mouths of babes, Wes, who we all know from Davis Arena,
Greetings.
is also in the chat, and he tells me that Gracie calls Justice ice water.
Yeah, he is a hunk.
Ice
Wes
water.
is.
That perfect. A tall glass of ice water, which would have been perfect on Davis Arena at Davis Arena on Saturday.
Yeah,
It would have just evaporated and then led to more humidity.
Well, that might be true, but
Yeah, I was taking ice out of my drink and pressing it straight onto my forehead, and it was.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah,
Same here.
All right, so
they've got
let's,
those nice little cubes in there.
So
They don't have the
let's-
good ice for crunching, but it's good for cooling.
Orion and Brandon Lee versus Dustin Jackson and Jake Lawless. Two of you very wisely took the hottest number one contending tag team in the company, Jackson and Lawless.
Obvious choice right before the pay-per-view.
Yes, we've had Orion come talk to us. We just had Dustin Jackson come talk to us. His interview is in the feed. It was released
And
last
Icon
Thursday.
Lee has come up and talked to us.
Who?
Icon Lee, he's come up and talked to us.
Who?
Yes.
He hasn't talked to us here, but he's come up.
He's every third post in my social
He's
media.
come up
feeds.
and talked to us.
Oh,
That's for sure.
Okay, I don't do the
All right.
interwebs like you guys do.
So that's all for predictions. Let's take one final break, and we will come back and wrap this up.
Thank you for sticking up with us on this Wednesday night's edition of the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. My name is Jackman Oaks,
I'm Brian Hines.
and we'll be back right after this. There's people out there that are saying hush, not at you, but with you.
I can attest that I have done that a time or two. And I got to say, one of the first things I remember about watching OVW at home for the first couple times, I was with senior producer Victor Anderson, and we would watch on Thursday nights, was you in particular, because you're the best person on the mic in OVW, in my opinion.
Thank you.
And that was one thing that we really just got, that really just hit with us, because we understood what you were doing and why you were doing it, and the reaction you were getting was the most entertaining spot on the whole entire show, week after week. So.
Wrestling, a love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand, a brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. From counting the lights in your local armory to main eventing in Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Collar and elbow, the wrestling brand.
If you've ever dreamed of being part of professional wrestling or sports entertainment, make that dream a reality and attend the world-famous Harvard of Pro Wrestling. The OVW Academy with Al Snow, the birthplace of legends including Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, The Miz, and many more. Will you be the next name added to that impressive list? Visit OVWacademy.com and apply now.
I honestly don't know.
Hey, my name's
what
Mark
just
with
happened.
OVW Fan Zone.
My name is Buzz Backlund, and I'm in the OVW Fan Zone.
Welcome back to
Just
the
in
OVW
time.
Fan Zone Live. Oh, that's how we do it. That's how we do it, baby. Welcome back to the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. My name is Jack Minox.
I'm Brian Hines, kids.
And what are we getting into here on the last segment of the
All
show?
right, so we
here?
do have a few questions.
Yes,
Okay.
questions.
First, our old buddy Wesley asks about cash flow.
Hit me up.
We all know Cash Flow is off in
sure.
Atlanta filming season 2 of Tulsa King.
Mm-hmm.
That he will be back this fall. When he comes back, Wesley asks who in the Revolution we think he will go after first, or is it possible he could join the Revolution?
I don't think he'll join the Revolution straight back, because
No.
there will be a handful of weeks where they need to reestablish him. Not that he necessarily needs reestablished, but that's the way OVW likes to do things.
I already have my my thoughts on this, going back to our phone conversation with him. When Cash
Please.
comes back, I think that first order of business is a word with Crix.
One would hope. Mel wants to see that T-shirt, Jackman.
This is Mach 1 of our podcast T-shirt. It's actually the first time I've ever worn it, because I know, quite frankly, that after a couple runs in the washer, this thing might not exist anymore. But I wanted to wear it here on this Wednesday night.
You wore it once. We wore it to a show one time.
We did.
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
And then somehow I lost mine. I don't know what happened to it.
It was in the back of his car.
Was it?
Yeah, we found it.
Oh,
We'll get it back to you.
I would like to wear it sometime if possible.
Thought you,
I got the
find it.
plates, but I think I left the accoutrements in the other room. Maybe I'll go and grab those real quick.
Malachi.
What's going on in the chat? We have other questions?
So yes, Joe Coolie wants to get your thoughts on the Pikeville show and whether or not we think that they can sell out those 4,000 seats.
I don't think. I know we can't.
And here's my question: the fact that we're not going to get Rise for a few weeks, do we think that sells more tickets to Lexington and Pikeville?
I actually, two things, Joe. I agree with you. I think that we're heading towards sellout. I think 4,000 seats is so in the grasp of OVW. We see GLCW do it once a year. I think OVW could move to doing it once a year. That's first things first. Second thing, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I don't know if you've heard this, but Tiny Brian is actually from Pikeville. That is our backyard per se.
In
So
fact, one of our oldest friends is going to be moving into a new business there in downtown Pikeville, and is going to have some space, and we'll probably have a little after party.
and I
His
can't
establishment.
We're
wait.
not doing a strip job.
For those of you at home,
insurance
that
was
is
just crazy.
definitely PG-13. It is a mining term, so
They-
keep your minds out of the
Yeah,
gutter.
it's a flat thing they made on top of a mountain.
And mind your business.
Listen, I know enough about these coal mines to know they ain't got very good insurance anyway. So
Let's see. Michael Ahern says, who will challenge for the OVW women's title next? As Brian has apparently had enough of this stuff, and
he's going to advance the segment. Who will challenge for the OVW women's? Let me circle back. I actually do think that a lack of presence at Davis Arena will help sell tickets.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
OVWTix.com. The newest question, next women's title challenger. I think that, we haven't really.
I'm
Hard
just
to.
gonna say
I
that-
don't want to say too much because we haven't in any capacity covered the pay-per-view yet. But
Nor
I
will we
say I will
tonight.
say
Well,
probably.
we can spoil it. I mean,
I will
it's
say
been a week.
probably Freya.
That would be my guess too. Is that Freya has earned the next step on the list.
Quite possibly so, yes.
Michael also asks, when do we think Crixus will defend that title, and who do we think he's likely to defend against? Probably at Independence Rage, if I had to guess.
Well, you mean Fight Night?
Yeah, Fight Night. I'm sorry. We just had Independence Rage. Yeah, Fight Night in Pikeville is probably Crixus.
Producer Brian's crazy from the heat.
It's not as bad now as it was a couple days ago.
Cal Hero.
yeah.
You think it's Cal?
I think
That's
that
a bold choice, my friend.
I think that Cal losing the media championship to Tony Gunn especially was to bring in some new competitors for that championship that can be made or broken on Tony Gunn's reputation. I think that he doesn't. I think that it is time. I think that they're telling us in storyline that this isn't an undercard Cal Hero. This isn't a mid-championship belt Cal Hero. This is Cal Hero. This is not the fanny pack kid. This is the fanny pack man. And I think that in front of 4,000 people that have been paying attention or just really want to see a good moment in general, I think Cal's the guy.
That would be a heck of a fight, if nothing else.
And I think that
Tickets
they've
for
set up.
Pikeville are on sale now, Mel G, at
Yes.
the Appalachian Wireless Arena box office or at Ticketmaster.com.
I think what they've done though is set up a lot of people to come after Cal if he was to win. And I mean, I could be totally wrong. I'm wrong about most of the things I say, but like from what I'm looking at right now and what it's shaping up to be, it could be Cal Hero's night that
There's
night.
a lot of Foley work going on in this moment.
It's called setting the scene, baby.
That's right.
What else we got?
Let's see. Oh, looks like Montana Stump has joined us in the chat room. So
Oh, hey,
Montana.
how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
And Zachary Pittman has shown up.
The third.
Freelance
The
reporter,
third.
the third. My
Third,
apologies.
yes.
It's not his screen name, but he has shown up, and he says that we want Super Z.
We do want Super
I
Z.
mean, yeah, that
Super Z is more than happy to join us on any Wednesday night, Zachary.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
sure
is.
is.
He's
If you
always
know how to
welcome.
contact him.
Well, we know they're old friends. Zach, we'd love to see you come out at ringside with
We
Super
only
Z
have to
sometime.
present
You should
this
really support your friend in that very front line sort of way.
Absolutely.
All right.
As we're we kind of near the end of our allotted interaction with people that live on the internet.
We're getting there. What do you guys want to talk about? What you're doing there before we go?
Yeah.
One of the things that I mean, as we mentioned before, one of the things that we share as far as
Buzz
enthusiasm.
Backlund has joined the chat and is curious how many calories are in those sandwiches, young man.
Not enough.
Not enough.
So
I've been sweating all week.
Yes,
But
it's great to have you with us, Buzz.
But thank you, Buzz. And we do promise these are up to the highest USDA standard
Absolutely.
of Angus beef. We are going to enjoy these with all the vermin vigor of a Rush Division champion.
Or a cross-faced chicken wing.
And we appreciate everything that you do for us, Buzz. Thanks for joining us in the chat, man.
Yes, thank you kindly.
Hey, John, thanks for joining us from Columbia as well. Love to see some people from off the continent.
International
or
South Carolina?
I'm pretty sure it's Columbia, the country.
That's good.
Saw it a minute ago and had
I would
thought
feel
about it.
differently if it was South Carolina.
I probably wouldn't have just called on somebody from South Carolina.
If I
just out of
remember
nowhere.
right, when I was watching the OVW Rise in preparation for the podcast that we do, the OVW Podcast, the unofficial podcast of OVW.
Hold on 1 second. Buzz, what's the capital of South Carolina? Go ahead.
Okay, good. I noticed that there was somebody in the chat for that who was from Scotland who was watching from South Korea. And I can't remember
From
the name.
Scotland.
Who
watching from
hails
South Korea.
from Scotland, who
And
was
Buzz
watching.
Backlund says Columbia.
Perfect.
Of course, because that's perfect.
That's a weird way to get around. That's a strange diaspora that I don't think exists very much.
Missouri. Buzz Backlund,
Stoner
Missouri.
Jesus has joined us.
Oh.
He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite Jesuses.
Well, I don't know anything about being a stoner, but I do know a lot about Jesus.
That is not Kitchen Jesus, is it?
I mean, STON3R Jesus.
Okay.
G3SUS.
All right. For those of you who know me from the Moorhead days, you know who I am referring to when I refer to Kitchen Jesus and the story behind that.
They appear to be just quizzing Buzz Backlund about states and capitals.
Yes.
Well, we gotta put it into that. Poor Buzz has better things to do. If you want to hear Buzz Backlund name every state, every capital,
every president
and every president,
yes.
You can find it on
his
our
interview with
on
us.
our interview with us on the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling.
That's right.
Less of an interview and more of a social studies lesson, really.
It really was.
My name is Jack Minogues.
I'm Brian Hines.
4th of July, as with any other holiday, carries its own set of
Brian graduated from MSU.
I did.
Has its own set of dangers. Be
Yes.
safe. The cops are out more than they are any other time of the year this
They are
weekend.
trying to keep you safe.
Drive
They
sober.
but that's why exactly you need to make sure that you're getting a sober ride or you're driving sober yourself. Put in your dogs, lock your dogs up. More dogs run away this week than any other week in America.
I didn't know that, but now that you mention it, that makes perfect sense because of the fireworks and all the loud noises
Right.
and whatnot.
And-
And be mindful of that. And also people with PTSD. That's traumatizing for them. As much as I love fireworks, as much as I love the explosions and the big bangs and the colors, just be mindful of other people. Be mindful of your neighbors and take care of each other and check in on each other, especially in this heat. Make sure that people are hydrated. Make sure that
Stay hydrated.
the older folks that you know don't go and just fall by the wayside.
How about you?
Check on them.
How about you offer to mow the yard next week for the old folks? You know, how about you don't have them out there? I guess the best way, the easiest way to say this to not only everyone in this room, but to all the people joining us tonight and all the people
Now
that
they're
will
just
see
putting
this.
PSA slogans in the chat room. Survive,
is-
don't text and drive.
Man, I love this chat. Celebrate
Buzz
responsibly.
reminds you to wear SPF 100.
Yes.
Celebrate responsibly. Wear SPF 100.
Wear sunscreen.
This has been the
Well,
OVW.
hold on.
Wait. We got one more.
Okay, so we talked about this earlier, and we are on the way out. But one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to do more 4th of July content.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure
And-
you leave it's Independence Eve. Make sure you leave cookies out for Uncle Sam.
Yes.
For
But,
Benjamin Franklin, my favorite president.
If you're looking for something like a short, silly 4th of July thing to watch, you should talk to my friend Mossman. And a couple years ago,
I'm sorry.
he had himself a time on 4th of July. So if you happen to go to the YouTube channel Eternia Wrestling Federation, go check out my friend Mossman's exploits when it comes to the 4th of July variety, because I know that
Moss.
guy knows how to throw a 4th of July party, much like we do, and we haven't gotten a chance to meet him yet, but at some point we might down the future.
And that is specifically Moss, M-O-S-S man, not Moth, M-O-T-H man.
No, that's a
Mothman
whole
is
different
someone
character
else.
Yeah,
altogether.
not the Richard Gere vehicle. Eternia Wrestling Federation. My name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm Brian Hines.
I'm Tiny Brian.
This has been the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back.
Have a good holiday.